it's me, Kimberly, and welcome to this new video. We are dealing with the Easter weekend, so that means at least 4 days off. Today is Friday. I started this morning with a little coffee with a friend of mine, did my nails. And now we are knitting, and you're not gonna believe that I am doing. This is my Daydreamer cardigan, and I am trying to reinforce the steek with a crochet hook. So first I was thinking of doing it with the sewing machine of my mom, but well, I think it has been laying here since, well, the beginning of the year. I think I even finished it in the end of December, and I just never set the step to actually go and steek it. But now is the moment. So that's why I took my crochet needle. I'm trying to, well, reinforce the steek as the tutorial on YouTube said to me, and I did one side already, and now I'm doing the other side, and then we will be able to actually cut it. Oh, I'm so scared, but I am really ready for this garment to be done, and I wish I could wear it. There have been a couple of times over the last few weeks where I was like, oh, the cardigan would have been perfect now. So that motivated me to take this step, and I thought, we have a couple of days off, I don't have the time to knit. My boyfriend is actually working today, and he's also working on Monday, so I have the house all by myself and I can do what I want, and that is knitting. So that's what I'm doing now. I hope I can manage to finish this crocheted steek reinforcement, I believe how it is called. And I don't know, maybe this is the weekend when she will be cut open and sliced down through the middle. You can actually see like how it's going to look. It's looking great, right? And then you cut in the middle one, and then I have to pick up stitches, I believe, in these purl ones after that. I did saw a video of somebody this week. I've been watching loads of YouTube, and she was actually making this, and I saw her steek it and finish it, and then she had the finished project, and I was like, I really need to step up my game and do it and be brave. So that's what we are doing. So we'll be tuning back in when I think the moment has arrived for us to get the scissors. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm so scared. But I did everything according to the video. My steeking reinforcement is finished, so I think it's time to cut it, I guess. Good morning, guys. It's Saturday, and I've dedicated my whole life yesterday evening to this steeked cardigan, and it's giving me a hard time. It's giving me a hard time. I mean, in the beginning of this pattern, I had some struggles. I mean, it's just not very explanatory and not, well, easily written, at least not how I would like it per se. but it doesn't mean that it's not usable, but you have to interpret quite a bit. And well, at this part where you do all these fold overs to hide the steek and the reinforcement that you did, but also just picking up for the button band is just so confusing. So I did went to Ravelry, and luckily enough I was not the only one. A lot of people found it quite confusing, so I felt a little bit less lonely. But I did one side, and I think you can see it already. I picked up the recommended amount of stitches, and I think it's too much, so I think I have to do this over, and instead of picking 3 out of the 4, maybe doing 2 out of 3, and then I hope this problem will fix itself, because it really yeah, it's just a little bit too much. And I've also been checking, like, is it normal that it's that thick? I think it is supposed to be like this, but I don't know. If I am gonna do this over, I would maybe add 1 extra knit to give it a bit more space, because it's quite tight and bulky. I don't know if you can see. It's really squishy. But then the problem occurs again on the other side. So where I get confused is the fact that she again makes you pick up 3 out of 4, right? And then you knit 1 row just like the other side, turn it back loop, so you get this like purl stitches, but then she makes you bind off again immediately while knitting, so you get this knitted chain, right? And then she says pick up in section 1. Like, what is section 1? So that was already very confusing, because you have to pick up stitches there for the fold over to hide your reinforcement stitches, but also you have to pick up stitches through the same ones to eventually knit the button band where the buttonholes are created. The confusing part is that for the picking up where you make eventually the chain, you pick up 3 out of 4, but then again she makes you pick up 3 out of 4 for the reinforcement hide sandwich, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what the correct name is for that. So that's making me confused, because then this button band where the buttonholes are in is way less stitches than the other side. But I do think this one is too much stitches and I have to do it over. So in that case, I would just pick up less stitches here also. But it's just weird. It just doesn't really explain it, and it's just hella confusing, at least for me, as it's also the first time that I'm steeking. So I've been Googling, I've been watching videos. There's just not a lot of information about what you do after you cut it. So there's a lot of information about how you do the reinforcement of the stitches and all these different methods, and then they showed the cutting, and then afterwards it's just a void of information. But I think I'm just gonna do it like the pattern states, and then hopes that it's all right, especially because I now know that this is too much, so that it would be logical to pick up less stitches for this side. I wish it was just a bit more explained, or at least if there would have been some videos or pictures where they show where the pickup is, because also for the first one they said pick up between the purl and the stitch. Like, what is that? It's just, I mean, eventually I think I figured it out, but it would have just been nice if there was a bit of video material or pictures that would make the process so much smoother. I think we just have to continue. I really want to like finish this, and maybe today we'll be going to the Cité, and then I can visit the button store, because I still didn't buy any buttons for this, and I also want to find buttons for my new port jacket, that I will show you eventually, but now my focus is on this first. It's just so soft, I want to wear it, but it's just a hard process. I do find the Steeking person quite interesting. I would be open to trying this again, but then preferably with a pattern that has a bit more words and less self-imagination on how you have to do it. I just have so many questions.
Got me falling for you, sidestep, day trip, pulling me both ways like a cyclone. I think it might happen any day. What do I know? I don't have it your way. Got me for you, falling for you, falling for you. Tell me, do you love hard courtyard, dressed in white one day on a tight rope? My mind spinning, please wait. What do I know? I don't have it your way. Got me falling. Things were different. What made you change it up? How could I believe what you're showing?
Okay, I promised you an update on my port jacket because I haven't shown you this, and I'm quickly gonna show you, and then I'm gonna make some lunch, and then I'm gonna knit a knitting podcast, so then we can talk about everything there is to talk about. But let me grab it. I see I didn't finish my round, so I'm quickly gonna finish my round because then I can put it on. Every row is taking me some minutes, so it's not that fast at this moment. Okay. Blow dried my hair, and these front pieces never wanna work with me, but just gonna ignore that. So, port jacket by Ozetta. I think if you follow me on my Instagram, you've probably seen the reel that I posted about doing order at Rosa Pomar for the Matiz yarn. I got knitfluenced by Marlene Knits, and she was talking about how she really was loving that yarn. I think she was busting out 3 winter pullovers since like the last December or something, and I did an order, so I put in the reel here. I am very happy. I ordered 6 balls of the yarn, and I ordered a project bag as well. I ordered 1 of their sock yarn balls in black. I hear you thinking black, but I am wearing a lot of loafers to work, so I always then wear like my merino socks black most of the time. I thought a knitted pair would be great, and in summer I can actually see black stitches. Yes, this is a little sock project bag, so cute. And this is the Matiz bag that I got. There is a stain in it, and I don't know what it is, so I should probably try to wash it. But you can't pick out colors, you just get what they pick. So they have loads of different colorways, but you're not choosing them, they are choosing them for you. And if you order more, they of course say that you will get different colorways. So very happy with that. The yarn is very beautiful, and the logo of course is so cute. So I swatched, so I think that's now 2 weeks ago. I swatched 1 on the recommended 5mm needles and 1 on the 4.5mm needles because I know my knitting gauge is quite loose. But in the end, I did really like the fabric of the 5mm needles better than the from the 4.5. It's just a bit too tight, and the stitch definition is just not as beautiful. So we went for the 5mm needles. I also was on gauge, by the way, for the stitch gauge, not for the row gauge. Here she is. I already have 2 sleeves and part of the body, so I'm gonna put her on for you. So, as you can see, it has some detailing for the sleeves, and that ends when you pick up for the sleeves. I do think that could have been a bit more detailed to how to end this detailing, or maybe I should have pulled it all the way into the body, because I think, yeah, I wasted detail. How are we liking it? This is her. I think we have to knit 8.5 centimeters for this body part before I can start the ribbing, and we're almost there. As you can see, she's quite oversized, but I think I'm gonna be very happy with this. I can't wait to wear it. I started this project on the 26th of March, and it's now the 7th of April, and as you can see, she is flying off the needles. I mean, it's also because I have been kind of monotonously knitting on this one and some socks, but this was my main project for the last couple of weeks, and of course because it's 5mm needles. So I did film a section yesterday where I talked about this already, but I didn't really like how it was looking because my windows are at the end of the day like full sunlight, and it turned out a bit green or something. It doesn't look that great, so that's why I'm doing this all over again. But I will add in some clips or maybe a picture, because I did knit the sleeve cuffs on the 5mm needles because they don't say go down in needle size. So I thought, okay, probably is also part of the look. I'm just gonna do the 5mm needles. I did go for knitting the ribbing inside out. It's the first time that I'm doing that, because I don't know, it's been a kind of a struggle, and I don't seem to get the ribbing that neat either way. So I also felt like this pattern didn't really would suit a twisted rib, so I thought, okay, I'm gonna knit this inside out. So I just did a turn and I knitted it inside out and bound it off. The picture, you can see the difference between the cuffs, because after I bound that one off, I didn't really like how it was looking. Yeah, I didn't like how it was looking. It was just too loose, and also the bind up was like flaring out. I thought I'm just gonna do it over and go down a needle size. So in the end, I went for 4mm needles for the cuffs, inside out ribbing, added 1 extra repeat of decreases, ripped down the cuff that I did on 5mm needles and did it over on the 4mm, bound them off, and now I'm happy with how they are looking. So that was it, I think, all about this jacket. Because my row gauge is off, I did not follow the amount of rows, but I just stopped at the moment that I hit the length that was stated, and I don't think it really is a problem. The only thing I thought would maybe be a problem is in this section where you increase for your neckline. Yeah, it's not that I'm that far off, but I did see it in the sleeves as well, which I think the sleeves were supposed to be around 30 centimeters from your armhole until you did all the decrease sections. I did that, but mine was like 8 or 10 centimeters longer even, which I also need because I apparently have quite long arms, and I always have to add length, and in this case I got the length already by being off of the row gauge, and then yeah, I just did the recommended 10 centimeter cuff. I'm very happy with it. I also bought some buttons already. Don't know which one I will be choosing yet, and if those are the ones I will actually put on the pattern when it's done. But when we hit the button bands section, we of course will do a little walkthrough with the buttons and see which one we have to choose. But that was an update on my poor jacket. I see that I have been talking so long already. I'm gonna make myself some lunch and then quickly film the podcast. And I think the podcast is gonna be up before this one, so maybe it will be a bit double. Okay, it's the evening and I thought I'm gonna try to wind the sock yarn. And in my latest vlog where I was telling everybody I was having issues, people say I needed to try to get it on the same level, so now I'm trying a different setup. The winder is still on this little stool because I don't have anything else, and I thought, oh, this, I can maybe try to put it on here, so I'm gonna try this out while I'm watching Sophie Knits Daily, who just launched a new knitting podcast with her boyfriend called We Knit Daily, so that was a nice surprise for this evening. But this is the setup we're now working with. Showing you my beautiful yarn. Crisp. Looking very nice with the plants. I can't wait. The question is though, will I add a contrast color? It's looking so good. Look at this beauty. It worked. It worked. Your tips helped. Look at this beautiful ball. I can't wait to cast it on. A bit of an improvised angle. I am actually trying to sew down the little hiding flap unit for the reinforcement sticks. So that's what I'm doing now, and I've actually not really talked to you guys a lot, I think, the last couple of days, or even maybe a week or more. I must say I'm having a lot of issues with my endometriosis. I have been in a flare-up for weeks now, and I think the last 2 days it's kind of settling down, but yeah, I was not feeling great and it just didn't go away. So normally it's like a couple of days or, you know, a week or something, but it just kept on going and going. So not really great. And on top of that, my cat is not doing that great, so we don't know exactly what is going on. But we now had a ultrasound this week and we're getting the results next week, so in 4 or 5 days. It looks like his kidneys are the problem, but we don't know. I am actually still in my gym clothes because, well, as I was not feeling that great, I also didn't really go to the gym. But today I felt a bit less swollen and my abdomen hurt a little bit less. I also took some meds, but I thought, okay, let's go and boost my body a bit. I'm also kind of worried on how I should be doing this. I'm folding this down. I don't want it to like pull or anything on the fabric, but the stitch amounts are not even, so the little flap that I knitted has less stitches than the actual body, but I think it's looking great. I'm happy. You don't really see it from the outside. The only thing is that it kind of rolls in, so the little pearl detail here is not really that visible, but maybe blocking will help it as well. But I'm trying to be mindful while doing it and folding it over the whole time to look if it's not I'm also just gonna have to see how this vlog is looking. I did film quite a bit earlier and I am editing it. I don't know if I'm very proud of it but I also on the other hand want to like still put it up, so I will see. I will yeah, excuse me if this wasn't the the best one or the most fun one, but I still want to share everything that I did around the steeking and stuff. It's quite interesting. It's been a new knitting experience for me, so I would love to share that. And I hope you still enjoy. Hey guys, it's Sunday morning, well, afternoon. I went to the gym and I just took my shower and I washed my hair, so sorry for this look. But I wanted to end this video here and maybe get it up still today, so I thought we'd do a little update because I finished all my bands. So this is the band that I showed you that I was sewing down. I think it looks really good. It's a bit bulky, and the other side you've already seen, but this time I did it over with less stitches. Still, it is quite thick. I don't know if I can show it like to you like this, but I yesterday evening finally did the color section. So picked up stitches. The only little thing that I maybe messed up a little bit is the buttonhole. You do a fold over and it looks not in the same line as the last button band, but I don't know if that's going to be a problem. Here she is. I did see that the yarn stretched a bit here. I don't know if you can see it that well, but let me put her on. I only have to do the detailing of the sleeves. So this is her. I'm thinking of adding a little elastic in here because it has the tendency to stand up a bit, but maybe that's also the look we should go for. And this is the band. As you can see, this is quite bulky, and this is the side where I've sewn down the band, and I think it looks good. And these are the sleeves. I in the end added this much length, so the stitches look a bit different. This is blocked, this isn't blocked, and this is gonna add 1/2 centimeter still with a little detailing that's also on the button band. So this is going to be coming on my sleeve still. I think it looks good. Maybe I could have, I don't know. I think the sizing is good around the body. I didn't want it bigger than this. I wanted a tight fitting garment, but the sleeves could have been a bit wider, but I already mentioned that I think my gauge in the round on the little tiny needles is a bit tighter than working on the big needles. And I did not do the magic loop. I did it on the super tiny needles, but I think we're looking good. I was also scared that was a bit too short, but my boyfriend said that it's fine. Yeah, you cannot really add length to it, so this is just how it's going to be. But I'm happy that I decided to wait with the sleeves and make them a bit longer. And we will see. My other garment that I knitted in this Cardiff cashmere grew quite a bit. Got a bit more drapey, so I'm hoping that this will do the same. But we're almost there, guys. I need to weave in all these ends. I need to do the little detailing of the sleeves. I did weave in the ends of the whole sweater already, only the ones all contain, like, are part of the button band and the neck section. I need to still weave in. It's a lot of ends because you do have to pick up a lot of times and then bind off again and then pick up and then bind off again. So that's why we have all the little yarny details that still need to be fixed. But I wanted to give you this quick update at the end of this video because I felt like you needed to see how it turned out after all that hard work with the steeking process. And I hope you still had a good time in this video, although it wasn't the best one. And I'm happy and I'm glad I made some progress finally on this cardigan, and I hopefully can finish her off and add in the buttons, but that will be in another video. So if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up or subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next one.